Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Barcelona's preseason and who Hansi Flick did take to the USA tour. As you can see here, this is going to be the traveling squad. We can see Ter Stegen, Balde, Inigo Martinez, Lewandowski, Rafinha. I'm going to be separating these players based on their positions and speak about why Hansi Flick brought some of these players. I'm very excited, to be honest, because I do think that Hansi Flick is going to have a great first season with Barcelona. I also believe that Barcelona will look a lot different in the upcoming season in terms of the formation, the tactics, and that's what gets me excited the most is what can Hansi Flick bring to the table that is new, and we are going to be getting a glimpse of that very soon. We're gonna kick off our first game with Man City tomorrow night. Then our next match will be on August 3rd, which will be El Clásico. It is Real Madrid versus FC Barcelona. And then lastly, we will be playing our last game on August 6th, which will be in the following Tuesday against AC Milan. We also do have another friendly against Monaco 6 days later on August 12th. And then from there, we kick off our official season, facing against Valencia away from home. And so the last time Barcelona and Man City did play, it was a 3-3 draw. It was a very exciting match. Mahrez scored a late penalty that equalized the game for Man City. And I remember Erling Haaland was playing there, surrounded by many FC Barcelona fans, and the fans were cheering for Erling Haaland, shouting out his name. And it was showing the love that Barcelona do have for the Norwegian striker. So Manchester City did struggle to have a very strong start to this campaign. They lost to Celtic 4-3. Now, I don't believe that it is fully Man City's fault nor Pep Guardiola. I think that, when it's the preseason, you want to have some mistakes to see what works and what doesn't. Man City did field a very young lineup against Celtic, and that is what contributed towards the loss. Now, going into their next match against FC Barcelona, it's going to be putting some pressure on Pep Guardiola, and they're going to need a win. Now, as a Barcelona fan, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Barcelona will fight really well against this Man City squad and give Manchester City a hard time. So clearly, as you look through this squad list, Barcelona are missing some players. Just like Man City, both teams will not be at their full strength. Like, for example, Barcelona is currently missing most of their main key players like Pedri, Gavi, Frankie de Jong, Araujo, 4 players who are currently injured. And then you have Lamine Yamal, Cubarsí, Fermin Lopez out, not through injury but because they're being occupied right now. Lamine Yamal is resting, Cubarsí and Fermin Lopez are at the Olympics, and then you have Ferran Torres, another player that is resting. So looking at our goalkeepers, we have Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, Iñaki Peña, Astralaga, and Kochen, which will be a total of 4 goalkeepers. As for our defenders, we have Alejandro Balde, who is officially back and no longer injured. We have Inigo Martinez, Andreas Christensen, and Jules Koundé. Jules Koundé just joined the Barcelona preseason and joined the team about 24 hours ago. He did cut his vacation short, and I love this attitude coming from Jules Koundé, because Koundé could have said, I did play a lot of games, I want to rest, I want to go on vacation, I want to go party and be out for another 2 weeks, but Koundé does not want to do that. He wants to be there in the preseason. He wants to make a name for himself. He wants to train under Hansi Flick and make sure he is in top condition by the time the season does start. So props to Jules Koundé. I wouldn't be surprised that in about 3 years, Jules Koundé eventually becomes one of the captains for the team, because he truly does set multiple examples. And then we also have Julian Araujo, the Mexican-American, who has been called up by Hansi Flick. I'm very excited to see what Julian Araujo could bring to the right back position. He is one of the options. I think that as for now, Julian Araujo is the third option on the right back position. Second option will be Hector Fort, another player that has been called up. So we do have Koundé, Julian Araujo, and Hector Fort as our right back options right now. Then we have Lenglet. I don't think that Lenglet is going to be staying here for that long. For sure, within these next 2 or 3 weeks, we will see Lenglet officially get a move to another team. Then we have Alex Valle, who plays on the left back position. Mikael Faye, who plays as a center back and on the left back position. 2 players that I do want to definitely see in the preseason. Hopefully they get more than 10 to 15 minutes, because that is what they got last time in the 2023 preseason. And then of course we have Jared Martin, Cuenca, Dominguez, and Olmedo concluding our total options for our defense. If you guys are wondering what happened to Joao Cancelo right now, it just does not look good for him. Barcelona do not want to make any extreme efforts for the player. Cancelo is expected to leave Man City for sure, because City do not want to have anything to do with this player, and they prefer a permanent sale over a loan as of now. So I don't know, is Cancelo going to be in the City bench or in the Barcelona bench? It's really funny to think about, but Barcelona is not in a financial position to be signing Cancelo permanently, especially when you hear that City are asking for 25 million euros for the player. No, Barcelona don't want to do that. They want to have Nico Williams and Dani Olmo in this squad. They're willing to spend more than 100 million euros this summer, and those 100 million euros are going to be spent on attackers, not on Cancelo. And that is why Barcelona are not making any efforts for the fullback. If Cancelo does not end up staying at Barcelona, then no problem, right? Hansi Flick is like, okay, that's fine. I have many options on the left back position and on the right back position. We have Julian Araujo, Koundé, and Hector Fort. On the left back position, we can still have Hector Fort play in that position. We have Balde, we have Michael Faye, we have Alex Valle, all who are strong options. Moving on towards the midfielders, and we have Oriol Romeo, Gundogan, Pablo Torre, Marc Casado, Unai Hernandez, Marc Bernal, Noah Dadrich, Gulli Fernandes, and Junyent. Gundogan just joined Barcelona, just like Jules Koundé about 24 hours ago. Koundé did cut his vacation short. He's like, I'm right, I feel fully rested. I want to join the Barcelona preseason and make sure I am in top condition. Once again, another player that is setting an example for many of our youngsters. Now, within the midfield area, this is another reason why I am so excited for the preseason. Just because we have Pedri, Gavi, Frankie de Jong, Fermin Lopez all out for the preseason, I'm still excited because we have Marc Bernal, Noah Dadrich, Gulli Fernandes, and Casado within our preseason tour. These are players that played amazing during the Barca athletic season, and they do have strong chances to get into the first team if they do impress. And Hansi Flick did comment on our defensive midfield situation, and he hinted that Barcelona may not bring a pivot player. They don't want to use any of their funds for that position, and once again, their priority is Dani Olmo and Nico Williams. He did state, and I quote, "At the moment, I am really happy with what I see in the defensive midfield position. I think we have players in the team that can play in this position really well. All the players know what they have to do. It could also be one of the younger players from La Masia, and that is why I cannot wait to see Marc Bernal. I cannot wait to also see Casado, two players that has impressed Hansi Flick so far. It would also save us a lot of cash. Yes, maybe the experience may not be there, but what makes La Masia so special is that when you bring in those youngsters, they automatically deliver you the results that you do need within the first game because they have been training all their lives to play in this Barcelona system. Now, of course, we also do have Andreas Christensen and Oriol Romeo, two players who have experience, unlike Marc Casado and Marc Bernal, but I don't think that they're going to be seeing a lot of minutes. Hansi Flick will for sure use these matches against City, against AC Milan, against Real Madrid to see how Casado and Marc Bernal do perform. Most likely, Christensen will go into the defensive line because of Kubarsi's absence, and Oriol Romeo is not in the plans of Hansi. Now moving on towards our attackers, and we have Lewandowski, Rafinha, once again another player that has just joined the preseason. We have Vitor Roque, Pau Victor, and Toni Fernandes. Toni Fernandes, by the way, can play in the midfield and also in the attack, but we'll see where Hansi Flick does place him. It's unfortunate to hear that Ansu Fati is not going to be in the preseason because he just encountered an injury. Hansi Flick also had great plans for Ansu recently. In the past 2 or 3 weeks, he has been experimenting with Ansu Fati in the number 9 role. The reason why he wants to see Ansu Fati in the number 9 role is because Lewandowski cannot play all minutes, and he's also not guaranteed to play in all games because, once again, he's 35, 36 years old. He's not in his young years, and eventually, maybe in one game, he might encounter an injury, and that is where Ansu Fati can come in. For sure, Lewandowski will be a starter for us next season. He will be backed by, hopefully, right, by the time the season does start, but backed by Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal, and Dani Olmo. It's a phenomenal attack that can do great things. I expect Lewandowski to do better goals, better assists for the upcoming season. He even said earlier today, and I quote, "I'm sure that for me this season, I can score more goals than last year." And last season, he did net 26 goals. Can he reach 30 to 35 goals next season? We'll see. But as for Ansu Fati, for him, he's currently focused on his recovery from injury. And even though he did encounter this injury, Flick continues to state that he does see Fati as a key role in the team. He has a lot of ideas and plans for the youngster, and I hope that Fati does deliver because, man, do we want to see Fati back and reclaim the player that he once was. I am a strong believer, and I will state this until the very end, that pre-injured Ansu Fati is a better goal scorer than Lamine Yamal today. There is no way somebody can change my mind on that. Fati is a Samuel Eto'o, but reincarnated. He has the goal scoring instincts, and if Hansi Flick can reclaim that version of Fati, I think that Barcelona and the Barcelona fans will be very happy. Now, some sources have claimed that because Ansu Fati did injure his plantar fasciitis, it's not really a serious injury, which is why he can be back in about 2 or 3 weeks. It's just a small setback, and it is also not an injury that does impact your career. And so I'm very happy to see that these players and many of these youngsters are going to be given some chances. The sporting director, Deco, is also not going to be traveling with the team. He did stay in Barcelona, and the reason why Deco is at Barcelona is because he needs to stay to manage the key negotiations like Nico and like Dani Olmo. Deco does have a lot of work to do, and I believe that in these next few days, we will see the type of sporting director Deco is, because Barcelona cannot allow for these two operations to escape the club. We need these players to reinforce the attack. Deco's efforts aim to strengthen the squad and to ensure stability ahead of the next season. So there's plenty to look forward to. Of course, I am going to be making a match review for the game between Barcelona and Man City. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.